All right, it's time for another edition of Sundays with Serby. And this week, New York Post sports columnist Steve Serby caught up with Giants linebacker Bobby Okereke. And now, after a 2-week break, haven't seen Steve in a while. It's time to catch up with Steve. Steve joins me now. Steve, how you doing, man?
Good to see you again, Dex. You were missed.
I'm glad I was missed. It's good to be missed. Everybody doesn't have people who miss them. I appreciate that very much. So thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I missed you as well, too. Just got to let the people know. It's not a one-way missing street. The missing is just spread around. Let's just put it like that.
It's got to be. That's what friendship is all about.
There you go. I happen to agree. It's all about that and the appreciation. And we appreciate your Q&A, Steve. And in your Q&A, Okereke talked about the pride and responsibility that he feels as a captain, especially with key leaders like Saquon Barkley, Xavier McKinney, those guys gone. How did Bobby express his feelings about stepping up into a larger leadership role this season?
Well, this guy's a natural-born leader. He was an Eagle Scout, a Boy Scout, an Eagle Scout. He didn't miss a snap last season. He probably should have been a Pro Bowl candidate. He was a Pro Bowl candidate, but he was snubbed, and that's motivation for him this year. But he knows that with all these captains, the Giants had 10 captains last year, and 5 of them are now gone, or Saquon and Xavier McKinney and Darren Waller, who will announce his retirement momentarily, Leonard Williams, Adoree Jackson. So you've got Daniel Jones, you've got Dexter Henry, you've got Andrew Thomas, you've got Bobby Okereke, and you've got Graham Gano as 5 of your returning captains. Okereke knows that he will have to pick up the slack vocally, and he is made for that role. They call him Broadway Bobby because he loves the Broadway shows, even sang in Chicago the musical. Politics could be down the road for him. And look, I know Dex, he's part owner of Presidential Travel Services down in Florida, down in Miami. And I know, Dex, you love to travel in style. So I'm going to hook you up with him. And next time you're in Miami, you can get a nice chauffeured ride wherever you want to go.
I was just in Miami last weekend. I was literally just there. This is a missed opportunity.
That's what you get for not calling me.
Man, missed opportunity. I also have to note, you named me as one of the Giants captains. You have a consistent thing of trying to put me in on the Giants team. I know you meant Dexter Lawrence and not Dexter Henry, but you just put me in as one of the captains.
I meant Dexter Henry.
Oh, you did? Okay. I get thrown into jobs that I didn't even know I was going to have. No idea.
You'd be a good captain, I think. Can you fill a captain role?
I think so. Not on the New York Giants, but I definitely think I could fill a captain role for sure. I think so.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let's add Dexter Lawrence to that list.
There we go.
Dexter Henry, so there's 4 other guys that are going to have to be captains if Brian Daboll wants to go back to 10. So Kayvon Thibodeau has to be one in my view. Mm-hmm. I think Brian Burns will be one. And who would be another one?
I'd say you. I nominate you. That's what I'm going.
Me and Darius Slayton, I think, could be another one.
Okay, there we go. We'll see. We'll have to talk to Coach Daboll about that. See if we can make the list. We'll see if that can happen. But man, I missed out on that in Miami. That would have been really good. I'd ask you this, Steve. How does Okereke feel about this Giants team as they head into minicamp this week? And did he have a message or any message at all to the Big Blue fans before this upcoming 2024 season?
Well, his message to the fans is you're going to get the very best version of Bobby Okereke. 149 tackles last year. I asked him what his goal was this year. He laughed and said 150. And that's very realistic. This guy loves the game, plays with a fire and a passion, and he was a tremendous free agent signing by Joe Schoen. He believes the Giants can be a top 5 defense. Now, of course, we're in June, and every defense looks like a top 5 defense. But you've got Kayvon Thibodeau, you've got Brian Burns, who can electrify that entire defense, and Dexter Lawrence. I keep saying that, don't I? Wow.
You keep trying to put me on the field as if I'm ready to play in an NFL game. That is not the case. I can assure you that.
Let's go with Dexter Lawrence on this one.
Thank you.
And you've got you've got this electric rookie, Mr. Neighbors, the 6th overall pick, who gives Daniel Jones a fighting chance this year as long as the offensive line is better than it was a year ago, and it's hard to imagine that it can be worse. But Neighbors gives the Giants, gives Daniel Jones the fastest group of receivers he's ever had, because I also expect Wan'Dale Robinson to have a breakout year as long as he stays healthy. Now, of course, you've got Devin Singletary having to step out of the giant shadow of Saquon Barkley, and you've got cornerback 2. Cordell Flott is penciled in right now. We'll see if he keeps the job or not. That's a question mark. And, of course, all the questions about Daniel Jones. Can Daniel Jones hang on to his job? Can he flourish to a slighter, better degree than a year ago when he was under siege behind that offensive line and did not have a number 1 receiver? Now he's got that number 1 receiver in Malik Neighbors, who some felt was the best receiver in the draft, ahead of Marvin Harrison Jr. So Okereke believes, he loves Shane Bowen, by the way. I don't want to forget about him. Okereke loved Wink Martindale. Wink Martindale, of course, gone. But Okereke believes in Shane Bowen, thinks he's a great football mind, and believes that the front 3, those 3 guys I talked about, Dexter Lawrence, and you can throw in Dexter Henry too, who can rush the passer, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Brian Burns will be unleashed by Bowen, who will not blitz as much, but believes in heavy pressure on the quarterback from his front lines. And Okereke says, look, the division's wide open. I love being the underdog. Let them keep talking about the Giants having no chance. We'll see what happens. We're hungry. Underdogs are hungry. Beware the Giants.
Beware of the Giants. Words from Bobby Okereke. You can check out more of his words in his Q&A with Steve Serby this week. Giants fans, they got to like that. That's got to motivate them, thinking they're being counted out for the 2024 season. As I said, go check out Steve's Q&A on nypost.com. Steve, good to see
Captain Henry.
Captain, you know what? I'll be Captain Henry. Like I said, not for the Giants. Don't put me out there like that, even though Steve is trying to do that. But Captain Henry, we could rock with that. Captain Steve, too. Not a bad captain at all whatsoever. Steve, good to talk to you in another edition of Sundays with Serby. I'll see you next week.
You got it. Thanks, Dex.